Hello everyone, it's Tanya here and I'm back with another episode of What's in Your Wardrobe. This is a little series that I'm doing where I take a piece of clothing from my wardrobe and I talk through it with particular reference to any alterations, repairs or upcycling that I've done. Today it's going to be about repairs. This is a really beautiful, I think it's late 30s, early 40s dress in a peach. I think it's rayon rather than silk, but I'm not quite sure. Fabric, and it's got little ruffle sleeves, and it is very plain in shape, and it's a ballet length on me, so it hits me somewhere between the knee and the ankle, a ballet length. I saw this on eBay and it was very cheap because it's what they call a wounded bird. In other words, it's not wearable in its current state. There are things wrong with it. You'll need to do some work to it. But you know, that never puts me off. So I bought it. I think it was like literally a £5 or something like that. And I got it back and there was quite a lot of work to do on it. But I'm going to focus on two things today. I've just noticed whilst looking at it that actually there is another repair that needs to be done, which I haven't done. I thought I'd done everything. Just here, can you see some fraying? So this little sleeve has got elastic in it, and it's sewn together right on that edge, but it's frayed, it's come apart. So I'm going to need to do that, and all I will do with that is that will be hand sewing, and I will put the fabric down as much as I possibly can so that it's flat, and then just do a few stitches to sew it together, and that will keep going for another little while. The thing that I want to mainly focus on today is to tell you that when I bought this, there was no zip in it. It was just an open side, and there was a mismatch between the bodice and the skirt. So the bodice, I'm going to put it back and sort of show you what I'm talking about. Stick it there for the time being. So the bodice came down like this, and the skirt went down like that. So there was this piece missing from the skirt. So I had two options. I either brought the bodice in to match up with the skirt and made it a bit smaller, which would have been the ideal solution. And the reason I didn't do that was because it would have made it really tight on me. And given that it's such delicate fabric, you know, I'll show you how easily it frays. You can see on these seams. It's not a robust fabric. So if it was put under tension by being too tight, I really don't think that the dress would have lasted that long. So then the other alternative was to build up the skirt to match the bodice, and that's what I ended up doing. So I looked to see if there was any fabric anywhere on the dress which I could use to build up that extra little sort of triangle that I needed, and there really was very little in any of the seams. So then I looked at the hem. The hem, when I bought it, was not hemmed, and I noticed that in each of these panels you can see, I'll show you, it's got different panels in the skirt. So there's seams down, and that denotes each panel. And what I noticed at the bottom on the hem was that it was like that. So one panel would be higher than another panel. So what I did was I evened it all up, and I cut little slithers of fabric off the hem. And then, this is the clever bit, I did what is called piecing. So I put pieces of fabric together to make up a whole. And if you can see, I used little bits of fabric. There's actually 1, 2, 3 little panels that I made up to build up so that the skirt matched up to the bodice. And when I'd done that, when I'd bulked that fabric out, that seam out, then I was able to insert a zip. And I inserted a zip, which was a vintage zip, because, you know, back in those days, it would have been a metal, it would have probably been poppers or hook and eye, but a zip was acceptable. So I put in a vintage zip so that it looked authentic. I won't push it back because it takes me a while. So I hope you found that interesting, and I hope that showed you that when things are too small, they don't have to be. You can actually make things, you can increase things in size with a bit of clever jiggery pokery. I hope you found that interesting, and I'll see you next time.